Which film should you spend your hard-earned money on and go take photos with today? Well, I've wasted a lot of my hard-earned money on lots of different flavors of film, and some are absolutely worth shooting and paying the extra money for. And some of them aren't. Today, I'm going to rank all of the film stocks that I could think of that I've shot from S tier, literally film from the heavens, all the way down to F tier, don't even bother. I will also give you as many examples as I can for each different film stock so you can see how it looks from my embarrassingly disorganized archive. And I am going to be opinionated. And I am going to say things you disagree with. Also, just before we start, if you're into film photography, you might want to check out my zines, which are linked below, right next to our Discord, as well as all of the other gear that I use all the time. Let's get started. Kodak Gold. This is easily S tier, no question. The thing about gold is that it looks exactly how I imagine a film photo looking. And it's cheap and it's incredible in 120. I've probably shot more Kodak Gold than any other color film. It's in my camera right now. Some photographers don't like that it's got a little bit more of a look and it's a little bit more contrasty than other films, but that's kind of why I shoot film in the first place. Ilford HP5. This is tricky because I've shot like a billion rolls of HP5, but I do find it's slightly too plain. Sometimes. Lately, I've been shooting way more Tri-X because I just prefer the extra chunky goodness, but HP5 is cheaper, at least where I live. It's also permanently in stock, and you can push it like 4 stops without even sweating, so it's going in S tier. Ilford XP2. This is an interesting one. This is black and white film, but you can develop it in color chemicals. Now, if you do your own development at home, that may or may not be useful, but a lot of labs these days either take way longer to develop black and white film or they just don't do it at all. Another cool thing about XP2 is that it's really flexible. You can basically shoot it at whatever ISO you want and it will come out looking mostly fine. For now, we'll put it in B tier. Portra 160. This is just good. It's expensive, but if you really want that pastel high-end California type look that everyone on Instagram seems to have, it's pretty hard to beat. A tier. Agfa Vista. It's not it. I don't think that the Agfa that you can buy now is the same as the old Agfa, so don't go in expecting a whole bunch of nostalgia because what you will actually end up with is the photos kind of just look like if you did a film soup with blue Gatorade. It's not good. F tier. Fujifilm Neopan Acros 2. This is a weird one. There's some debate as to whether or not this is just a slightly modified Ilford film. I think Ilford makes it. I don't know. All I know that is if you shoot this, you're probably a lot older than me. You probably have an Olympus and a very cool trench coat. It's a good looking film. It's just not really what I want in a black and white film. So B tier. Kodak Color Plus. I like Color Plus. I just usually prefer gold if I'm going for a sort of consumer grade, cheaper 200 speed film. And sometimes I feel like Color Plus can be a little bit grainier than I would prefer for an ISO 200 film, but it does look pretty nice, so it's going in B on the basis that it is actually cheaper than Kodak Gold where you're buying it, which it should be. Fujifilm Velvia 100. I think Velvia 100 looks incredible. Unfortunately, you have to have an incredibly long look to find any in decent condition these days because Fujifilm hate beauty and art or something, I don't know. I'm going to continue to be sour about Fujifilm killing off their slide film because it's such a unique experience. I really wish they'd bring it back. A tier. If you're also sad about film getting harder to find, we'll probably get along just fine, so go ahead and subscribe so that we can talk about it more often. Fomapan 200. If you think you've shot film, but you haven't shot Foma 200, you're lying to yourself. Fomapan 200 is insanely cheap. It's gnarly. It's grainy, it's, dare I say it, cinematic. I'm only half joking. Foma 200 has been there for me at my lowest, poorest moments. It'll develop in basically any household chemical, and instead of trying to fix the problem, it listens to me and understands how I'm feeling. Easily S tier. Fujifilm C200, the old one, not reboxed Color Plus. I think between the two, I prefer C200 over Color Plus, or preferred, because they killed it. I just think that Color Plus can be really warm sometimes, and while that's cool if you're going for yeah, I shoot film, it's nostalgic kind of thing, then that's great, but if you are just trying to take photos, I think C200 has a little bit more of a natural rendering, at least to my eyeballs. B tier. Lomography Color 800. I think that this is the same film that goes inside the Kodak disposable cameras, and every time I've shot one of them, I've gone into it expecting absolute trash and then ended up taking better photos than I usually do with my Nikon F3. I have a friend at Lomography who's just sent me some in 120, which is probably the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me, so I'm really looking forward to shooting that. A tier. Cinestill 400D, which, as we all kind of know, is Kodak Vision 3 500D with a different haircut. Speaking of haircuts, I think it's time. Look, I'll be honest, I really am not into the whole halation thing. I think it's just super overdone at the moment, but 400D does have this sort of silvery look in the highlights that I really dig, and I think I need to shoot more of it. I know that you can get rid of a lot of the halation by just buying re-rolled Vision 3, but where I live, ECN2 development is a massive pain, and bulk resellers are part of the reason that it's like awful to try to buy like actual 35mm movie film at the moment. A tier. Oh god, okay. Oh dear. Okay. Lomochrome purple. Oh god. Look, all I can say about Lomochrome purple is that if you put this in your camera and you leave the house, you will see a record number of once-in-a-lifetime shots, and then they will all look like this. F tier. Kentmere, like all of them. They're fine. They're just not very inspiring, but if it's like all you have, sure. B tier. Kodak Ultramax. Now, this is maybe the first kind of controversial one. I don't like it. It's never delivered for me. I always feel like it's way grainier than it should be, and the colors aren't right, and I really can't put my finger on why. This is the bit where like Ultramax fanboys in the comments are gonna tell me that I just haven't shot it in the right conditions, which is a bit like trying to convince someone who doesn't drink that they would have fun drinking if they just did it in the right setting. There's something about Ultramax that always feels like it's not quite there. C tier. Don't shoot. Here's a niche one for you, Forania P30. I've only ever shot a couple of rolls of this, but I really like how it looks. Unfortunately, it's only ISO 80, which is just too slow for me, okay? I can't f8 and be there at a shutter speed of half a second. It's just, it's not gonna happen. B tier. Okay, Portra 400. Listen, I've shot a lot of Portra 400, and I've only ever liked the results from one roll. I know that every like wide brim hat wearing leather strap Leica M6 influencer apart from me swears by Portra 400 as like the best film, but you have to understand, Portra 400 looks great if you want to edit the shit out of your scans. I mean, I still edit my scans, I edit my photos a lot, but starting from such a neutral, plain, vanilla base, I just find it really off-putting and not very inspiring. And somehow, whenever I shoot Portra 400, I always manage to clip my highlights. Explain that to me. I am willing to admit that maybe it's a skill issue and I just need to keep trying with Portra 400, but I am unwilling to gamble $20 a roll on that. B tier. Portra 800, S tier. It's everything Portra 400 people think that Portra 400 is. I will not explain any further. Kodak Ektar. I think this is really underrated. I also think it might have the coolest name out of any of the film stocks. I love the fine grain. I don't mind ISO 100. I like the colors. And to be honest, I have no idea why more people don't shoot Ektar more often. Actually, I hardly ever shoot Ektar. A tier. Ilford FP4. It's fine. B tier. Ilford Delta, like all of them. They're pretty good if you like the T-grain thing. It's just a different grain structure that looks a little bit sharper, a little bit more modern. I like the T-grain thing, but a lot of people really don't, and they want the sort of rougher, more analog, old school grain. A tier. Kodak T-Max, it's the same. I can't tell the difference between T-Max and Delta 400. A tier. Kodak Tri-X, on the other hand, I think is my favorite black and white film because it has the source. It's contrasty, it's easy to push to 800, which is like my default. And there's just something about Tri-X that feels really cinematic to me. I hate using that word as a descriptor, but there is something that it reminds me of a lot of black and white films from the 50s, a lot of French New Wave stuff that is really inspirational to me. S tier. Oh no. Ektachrome. Okay, look, I love slide film. I do. I love it. I love shooting slide film more than anything else. But this is just simply way too expensive to get away with being how mid it is. Like, I know it's meant to be a cool toned film, but that just means that unless you're taking photos in the desert or in a rainforest, it's just gray. I really wish that I could love Ektachrome because it's like the only slide film that you can still buy new, I think, but I can't. Provia 100F, on the other hand, it's delectable. It's saturated. It's got cool tones, but not in a miserable gray Aberdeen kind of way and more in a moody summer evening kind of way. I want to put it in S tier, but realistically, it's stupid expensive now, so A tier it is. Okay, listen, these next few, actually all of these, are just my opinion, so you have to give me some poetic license, but these next few, just go easy on me in the comments, okay? But first, you know what goes straight into S tier? Building a website with Framer, the sponsor of today's video, so that you can actually share your film photos with people all over the world without social media compressing them up so much that you can hardly see what's in them. Framer is the best platform for making and publishing websites, and that's not just because it's really easy to use, but it's also really powerful. So whether you want to just stick with one of their gajillion fantastic templates, or if you want to build everything from scratch like a control freak, it'll just do it. Having a Framer website or portfolio is such a great way to send photos to people because you can show everything in context in the right order without distractions. If you send somebody your photos on social media, they're going to have to sift through people's stories and notifications and messages before they can actually look at your photos and focus on them. Plus, if you want to try to build an audience with your photography, Framer has really good analytics. It's got A/B testing so you can see which photos people like more, and it's even got localization so that you can share your ideas all around the globe to people who don't speak your language. I used Framer to build zonefocus.com. This is like a kind of a test portfolio I'm using to see if I can create stories with photos I've taken in different places. I know that you've been putting off making a website. I know it seems like a chore, but trust me, it's actually really fun to make a website with Framer. So this afternoon or this weekend, set aside some time and use the link in the video description to sign up for Framer and get started for free. And make sure you use the code HunterCreates1 for an upgrade on the house. Thank you very much to Framer for their continued support and to you. Okay, controversial take number 1, Cinestill 800T. Insert petrol station joke here. We've all done it. Look, I know 800T is cinematic, but it's so hard to get it right. Like, you get 800T, it's a high-speed color film that's tungsten balanced, so naturally you go, oh cool, I'll go shoot 800T at night because it's tungsten film. But then you realize outside hasn't been lit with tungsten since like 20 years ago, which I'm still upset about, by the way. I'm sorry, I love the planet too, but what the f is this, man? White LED lights? Listen, they could just make them warm. It wouldn't even cost more to make street lights warm. And white lights are just worse for everything, like animals and stuff. Have you ever driven at night in the city with heavy rain and they have street lights that are the exact same color temperature as the white lines painted on the road, so the light is reflecting off of the rain and you can't see where the lines are? It's just awful. Not to mention or even get into the fact that LED lights, even the warm ones, are not full spectrum light, and so they don't expose the same, and they're probably not that good for your health and all of that conspiracy stuff. Look, aside from the fact that 800T is not that useful and that tungsten is not a very common color temperature to run into these days unless you're inside with the lights on, it's just always too grainy for me. And the colors are whack no matter how many times you double check that your 85B filter is on. And I've only ever made good pictures with it once, and that was when I shot it at ISO 500 during an overcast day, and then I still edited it loads. I'm putting it in C tier, but I want you to know I haven't given up on 800T just yet. I did buy a Roland 120, and I'm hoping that will make me feel better. Hoping. Fujifilm Superia Extra 400. Please stop buying this film on eBay because I want it all. Superia used to be my go-to default color film for street photography until Fujifilm ruined my life and discontinued it. Superia 400 is so clean, it's so natural, it's the Canon color science of film stocks. 400 ISO, perfect for daytime street photography. It was even, back in the day, cheap, believe it or not, and it's got the coolest packaging of any 35mm film stock ever, and it's got really cool edge markings. It was just the best. Why did they take it away from me? S tier, but don't buy it, or if you do buy it, send some to me. Fujifilm Pro 400H. You had to be there. It was like some Japanese photochemist at Fujifilm at some point had the exact same opinions about how colors should look as me. And then they made that film and it was Pro 400H. Like, it looks the way I edit my digital photos to look, except even better still. And when it was like $10 a roll, it was great. But now that it's like $200 for a questionably stored 5-pack on eBay, it's just not going to happen, chief. Regrettably, A tier. Look, I'm sure there's lots of film stocks I left out. Maybe I forgot. Maybe I haven't shot it in ages, or maybe I just couldn't find any examples. But if there's one thing you take away from my controversial opinions, it shouldn't be that Portra 400 is bad. It's just that lots of people can love it, and I don't. So go and experiment. Try different film stocks and see what your eyeballs like the look of. Now, if you're thinking about getting into film photography, but you're not quite sure which camera to buy, I have the answer for you. And it's in this video, which you can watch next. Stay hydrated and create art.